Well, I've got a little job here, mate. Another trumpeter in the band I'm playing. This is effectively this. Well, you can see, very similar in a lot of ways. So it's for not for a saw that goes like this. It's one of the floor standing. And the problem with this is this. It's just starting to rattle with the blade, which is causing the blade to misbehave, and so his saw is basically not working. The thing is, with this, there's not a lot of material here on the outside, in fact very little here, and the thing that I would normally think about doing if I was going to fix this, it's obviously just a bit of, I'm going to guess that hole isn't round. I'm going to guess that the hole has got a radius inside of here from flogging. I would normally want to just bore that out and then machine up a sleeve and push it in. But there's not enough room for a sleeve. So I thought I would record the process of me thinking my way through how to make this right again. My first thoughts are around turning that down here, undersize, and then putting a sleeve over it, but also, and actually you can see there is, it's been turned with a centre. Also, this is fairly tight. That's about where he wants the thing to be adjusted, and there's nothing left here. So he'd like to have a bit more option to adjust this. So he wants about another 10 mil on the end of here. Now he's got woodworking stuff apparently, but he doesn't have a lathe or a milling machine. Well, obviously the first thing to do now is to measure it up and find out what's what to determine what we're going to do. And for this, I'm going to want to find out if there's taper in there. Now that, looking in there, oh no, that's the wrong, not the bore I'm after. That one's all right, and it's got a split so that can get pulled in, and so that one's fine. It's this one. How round is it, and how parallel is it, and what size is it? So, just using some dividers. Okay, so if that focused, you could read it. That is about 12.05. So it looks like might be a metric part, because if it was half inch it'd be 12.7. All right, so now that's there's not a lot of taper in there. So at least not on that. I'd say just by feel, I don't feel a lot of taper, which is good, because if I can leave that alone I will. What do we get now? Hmm. 12.15. But that really doesn't feel Let's try it over here. No, that feels pretty parallel. So I'm going to say, that's looser than that. So it's a bit flogged out, but not a lot. Hmm, 0.1 maybe. Okay. I think what we've got, I think it's actually stretched out this way and narrow that way. We'll make that about 11.95 that way. Across here, about 11.95. Mm. .3. So I think I'm going to have to put that into the mill and just put a little cut down there to get that round. Now, what do we got here? Whew. No wonder it's rattling. Yeah, 11.9. 11.92. 11.9. 11.9. So around 11.9. So in this angle, yeah, it doesn't move very far that way, but in that angle, see, from across that way, it does move, but then that makes sense because I think there's about 0.1. But here, you look at that, and that's where the movement is. So I'm going to have to clean this bore out just to find a size, take as little as I possibly can out to leave as much meat as possible. I don't know that that's stretched there, I'm not sure. I don't know whether it's stretched there or not. But what I'm thinking is I'll turn this down. I'm going to have to put my 4-jaw chuck in and turn that down. I'm thinking I might take that, if that's 11.9, if I take that down to 8 or 7 and then turn up a piece, there'll be an interference fit, just a push fit. That'll slide over that on the bore, but is about 1 centimetre longer and takes it back out to just under whatever size I end up taking that to. So that's my plan at the moment. That's how I'm seeing this job. All right. Well, sorry about the rain noise. Can't do a lot about that. But I've got my wobbler or centre finder in, whatever you want to call it. Okay, wait for it to jump. Okay, and that's X. Okay, so X half. Okay, Y. Right, half. Okay, so that's 0. So that actually, now see about this. If I go under here, that's 3.93. Go back to 0. And go this way. And that's 4.19. Back to 0. And here. .92. So there is .27 difference between those, which lines up with my, okay, let's see, if we go back here, 3.19, so that's beautifully centered. Go back to 0. .17. So within very small, like if you did that again, you might get 0.0102 difference. But just doing that, I get numbers that agree with what I found with my calipers, which is comforting. So we have an oval shape rather than a circle. All right. Actually, now, next one. Probably that's about the right size. That looks pretty good. And as anticipated, we've taken cuts on both sides but not the front and back. So let's just we'll take as little off as we can. Okay. So Pete, if you ever watch this, trust me, actually you can see for yourself, I've left some witness marks on the bottom. I think that will be fine. I'm happy to leave a witness in the bottom so you know I haven't taken more out than I need to. Okay, so get that to focus. See there's a little witness mark there, but otherwise it's clean. Alright. Well, that's deburred now. Let's see what size I get on the calipers. Well, at least it's round. I reckon we're in the right territory there. So I make it 11.37. So I've taken about maybe 0.1 off, but we can see there's a little bit of, let's put my light back on. There's a little bit of a wetness in there. Well, this has been a dog to clock up. I haven't got it right. There's about, yeah, a little out there. But if I move it over to here, but not, you can see it's not quite parallel to itself. But I kind of think for the job this is doing, well, that's about point 0.2, so it's about 0.1 out. I can't really bite onto this any better. And again, this piece is not perfectly symmetrical either because I can't get that piece further in, whereas this one I can. The piece of aluminium packer, you see this one's sitting back, that one's sitting forward, but I can't get this one any further back, but it's no longer than that one. You can see they line up. So there's something weirdo. This is a fairly rough casting, so I'm going to call that good enough. Sorry Pete. And I've been mucking about with this for 15 minutes to get it as close as this. You can actually see there's a little bit of a wobble there, but that'll be as good as I'm going to get it in this little chuck. Okay, so now I can cut this. I had to take my digital read off. There's part of the digital readout. There's the main part of it. Off the x-axis with this 4-jaw chuck, I've got this cover that I made, which I'll have a video of making it. Where to put? Oh, the cover. I couldn't get the. I'd have to take the. Yeah, this cover, and it sits in there, and the jaw was going to hit it, and I kind of knew that when I made it, that there was a problem there, and I said to myself, if ever it happens, I'll just have to take it off. So it's just happened, and I've had to take it off. So I've turned that down, and this is, if I can do it, about 0.01 under 7.99. I'm thinking if I make the part that goes in, that goes over that, and I just drill it, because it's going to be tricky. This is my boring bar here, and that is too big to bore that out. So I'm going to have to drill it. Maybe I'll just drill one out at 8 and see. And I'm also thinking if I put a thread down the end of this, a 4mm thread, I can have it so you slide the piece on and then countersink, or it doesn't even matter if I countersink or not, but have a screw, 4mm screw down into here that holds it correctly holds it in position rather than doing any crazy thing like putting any weld on it or relying on a press fit. So I just drilled and tapped a 4mm hole in there. So we're now ready to take that out of the chuck, I think. A bit of round that I think my dad gave me. It's always handy to have a bit of stock, but that's 16 or 5/8 maybe. That will do. I drilled this. I drilled a 7.5, then I drilled 5/16, which is 4.93, and then I drilled 8 and need a little pop. So that's pretty good. So I'll cut that off, turn it around and drill and counterbore to put the 4mm screw in to hold it in place. So if this is all good, that'll slide onto there, and this will screw into here. I'll get a appropriate sized Allen key. This one down. Seem to always get it wrong. Yep. Not much of a thread in, but I don't have a lot more. But there we have it. 10mm longer. Alright, and this, I can't make it any looser than that. Ah, it's spinning. Longer screw might be in order. Let's try putting this one in. And I think there should be enough thread in there to get that in. Yes, there is. All right, this time. All right, and that is almost too tight. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, it's still got that little bit of wobble on it. But when we lock it, let's hope that that's going to be significantly improved. Oh yeah. I think it was about a 10, oh, maybe. Yep. There we go. No wobble there. All right, and I need to put this back together again. And there she is. So Peter will have to adjust that to whatever is appropriate. But there is no wobble. That is not moving at all. So, if you're not happy with that, Pete, you're a fussy beggar. You'll have to readjust these and everything. I'll tighten them in to put it in the lathe. But anyway, just a little job. I won't film. Let's just machine that down to that diameter and part it or face it off, part it off. Pete will do all the cut all the slots and holes. But there we have it. I call that a win.